Wow. I haven't done an update for a while. Part of that will be I did a job that just gave me zero time for about 6 weeks or so. So I went off and became a domiciliary carer. Good job, really rewarding. Met some brilliant people, both who worked for the company and service users' houses I went into and that kind of thing. But unfortunately, it just wasn't viable for me long term. The way the industry works is they pay your travel time between calls, but I mean that's minutes. It's the calls are very close together. You're all in one town or what have you. So that doesn't add up to an awful lot. And then you only really get paid for the actual call itself. So you get paid kind of in the house. So it's not the whole you started your first call at 6:15 and you finish your last call at whenever it is. So the way it works is there's runs. So you do a breakfast run, a lunch run, a tea run, and then a night/bed run, which tends to be sort of evening. Really, it's not a late. Well, that said, there were some people I was seeing quite late, and some places I got sort of stuck because it took forever or whatever. Then there's gaps between the runs, which is it's about just an over 2 hour gap between each run. But from a financial and time point of view, it wasn't worth me going home. So I'd end up leaving the house. I was up at sort of 10 to 5 most mornings, out the door about 20 to 6, and then I wasn't getting home till late, and it was more or less go to bed, survive on about 5.5 hours sleep, get up and do it all again 5 days a week. I don't think it was doing my health any good, because I think on the second week I lost 1 stone in a week. I've got the weight to lose and I've put half of it back on. But it just wasn't viable. And then when I got paid, I don't know if my pay was either for 3 or 4 weeks. I'm feeling it actually only covered the first 3 weeks I was working. But it came in significantly lower than I need to cover my household bills. Now granted, if it was 3 weeks, the payslip doesn't tell you, annoyingly, then a 4th week would have probably almost got me there, but that meant always doing those early morning till late night. That's a double run. Normally you'd do either breakfast and lunch or tea and bed. You do one or the other, but I was doing both because I had to, for the money, really. So it wasn't, unfortunately, it wasn't really working out. And then one thing and another, it's led to me working for Root Media full time. So my job title is campaign coordinator, which is exciting. I split my time between doing bits and pieces of admin and office work. I've got a little project I'm working on at the moment, building a database, and being out in the van. So I've had a couple of days out in the van this week. I've had 2 days in the office. One of the days in the office I ended up going out and driving places anyway and picking things up. You kind of just muck in, do what you got to do, innit? But it's nice because as much as the care work was rewarding, it was bloody hard at times as well. I saw my first dead body ever in my life. Never seen a dead body before, and I'd done the night call the night before this chap. He passed away overnight, and I went home knowing in my heart of hearts he wouldn't be alive when I went back. Looking a dying man in the eyes and trying to tell him it's going to be okay is a really hard thing to do. And his family are lovely as well, which makes it hard. That you've got to show empathy, but you've also got to be a little bit removed. I'm glad it only happened to me the once in the time I was doing it. I think that would be tough. It's a tough gig. Massive respect to people who do care work. I knew it was hard, I didn't appreciate that on top of it being quite a tough job and you've got to be quite resilient, that the industry is set up to basically fuck over the workers. Whole thing needs looking at, really. God knows, nothing will probably change. But I was watching people, I don't know, have to work really hard, really quick, because of the time constraints. Like, so you get an allocated quarter of an hour for a particular visit, and if you go in and that person's struggling with something, and they ask you to do extra bits and pieces that they're within their rights to ask you to do, but if on top of that you've got to change, they call them pads. They're sort of like, they come in various varieties, but it's kind of like, it's literally like a lot of them are like pull-ups, like that you put on toddlers. So if they've shat in that and you've got to change it, get that off, give them a clean, they might have mobility issues, which means it's not just a case of getting them to stand up, pull the pad off and get them to step into a new one. You might have to support them, hoist them. There'll be all sorts of things you might have to do to try and do that, and you've got to try and do it as comfortable as possible for them, as dignified as possible for them. That can be your quarter of an hour gone before you then you've got to make them a bit of lunch and a cup of tea or whatever it is. So just it was an eye-opener. It was an absolute eye-opener for someone who's not done anything like that before. So things are looking good moving forward. I started saying something else. Oh yeah, so rewarding, yes. Knackering, yes. Draining, yes. Difficult to earn a decent living, yes. And now the job I've got, it's nice to feel again that I leave work at the end of the day buzzing, because I'm kind of back doing what I know. Paul said to me, a few people have said actually, it's kind of a kudos, because I went and did whatever it took to try and achieve whatever I needed to achieve. I think that's something I've pretty much always done. There's plenty of times I've gone out and just taken a job that I'm not right for, doesn't fit me. Ultimately, those sort of jobs you tend to find you don't stay long, do you? The care work, I could have carried on with it, but then this job was offered, and I think I'd have been stupid not to take it. It's got to the point where coronavirus just doesn't seem to be going anywhere, does it? They restrict us, they lock things down, they stop travel, they whatever. People do what they do. Whether they strictly stick to it, I don't think a lot of people strictly, follow the rules to the letter. I had to pick up I've got a new car, but I had to leave county for that. I couldn't. There wasn't a dealer in RCT that I could have gone to, because there ain't a Citroen dealer, and I wanted another Citroen. And I wanted to do it through Citroen Finance again, because I knew I'd get that. So I had to go down to either, the choices was Merthyr, Cardiff or Newport. Cardiff at that point was on the verge of being locked down again, but actually hadn't been. But I kind of not know them well, but the dealership in Newport had previously been a client, so I kind of knew what they're about, knew how good they are. So I went to them. So I've got Barry now. I'll have to get some footage of Barry. And he's called Barry because the last three letters of the number plate are BGE, so he's a BG. And he can't be Morris or Robin because their car's already. So it has to be Barry, which is quite funny because obviously I used to be Barry Bassett. So it's nice. It's a little white C1 18 plate, and it's got a little bit of trim to it, which is quite tidy. And I was driving home the first time, and the rear view mirror was really dark in the rear view mirror. So I thought it had done that thing, where you can kind of, if someone behind you has got their main beam on, you can kind of pull that little toggle and switch it to a darker. So there I am with that, back and forth, dark, whatever I did, couldn't figure it out. I was on the phone to Paul saying, I can't get it's dark both. I think it's broken because it's just dark whichever way I flip it. Then I had a little play with the mirror because I thought maybe there's just like a, where it's not a brand new car. It's a 2 years old then, I guess. I thought maybe there was a sticker on it. So I'm fiddling around with the mirror and I thought I'm going to pull this off in a minute because I was trying to get this sticker off. And then I got out of the car, just having given up, just thinking I'll just look at it another day. Walked around the back of the car and the rear screen is tinted glass. Spoon, right? So yeah, weather's disgusting today. Absolutely vile. Sorry, just checking my nose hair. Yeah, weather's vile. I was in Devon yesterday. Oh my god, that drive. South Devon was alright. Coming up through North Devon and Somerset, ooh, Jesus. Genuinely a bit frightened at times because it was so dark and the rain was so intense that I was like double speed windscreen wipers and on the motorway doing like 50 thinking, no. So yeah, of course, today's Saturday, the 3rd of October. Yeah. On Monday, I was meant to be going to Orlando. I don't know when. I don't know if they've got any kind of date for flights resuming to the USA. I know that when we last spoke to them, in August, they were resuming on the 6th, and we were flying on the 5th, so we moved to June anyway. But I'm assuming that's moved again. I can't imagine they're flying out there starting from Tuesday. Would I go if my flight had been, another week? Would I still just go fuck it and go? That's an odd one to ask. I think, in reality, I'd have been a bit nervous about going. However, everything I see on YouTube about Disney and Universal, all of the measures are in place. If you're not an idiot, I think you're kind of good to go, realistically. And I think I would have been torn between probably not the right thing to travel. Actually, we can't travel, can we? We can't leave we're not supposed to leave the county apart from work, so we couldn't have gone to a fucking airport. Yeah, so a bit torn between do you travel and be really interesting to experience Disney in particular now and the way they're operating. Now, there's every chance they might still be operating that way in June. And I've started saying if about June, even though it's only October now, only because I said in March when Richard said to me, oh my God, do we move the holiday? And I was like, 6 months away, be fine. And it's not happening. The virus isn't under control. Every time they slightly ease anything, boom, that number goes straight back up. It just proves that you've either got to completely stay locked down, and I've heard some experts, I don't know who they are, saying that a lockdown only delays it. You're almost better just going with the whole it's just gonna have to kill who it kills kind of thing. I mean, that's horrid, but maybe that's the truth. Maybe this just won't go away. I mean, I guess there's the whole, like, if there's a vaccine coming, but you've got an awful lot of anti-vaxxers out there. Well, it's up to them, isn't it? I'm pro-vaccine, for the record. I don't see any harm in it whatsoever. But I used to sell them for a living, so I've probably got a mildly stronger understanding than your average idiot Joe Public who listens to Karen on Facebook. Vaccines are safe, people. Genuinely they are. Well, nothing's safe, is it? Christ, Mars bars aren't safe if you suddenly send you into some sort of hypoglycemic bloody reaction, or you've got an allergy to caramel. Nothing's safe, but they're safe and they're safe. Do you know what I mean? And unless you happen to have a reaction, if you know you're going to have the reaction, fine, don't have it. If you already know that, if you're allergic to penicillin, don't bastard take penicillin. It ain't hard. But Vaccines really aren't going to do you any harm. They really aren't. And you can argue all you want. I'm not going to fucking bite. Just let you get on with it. You can go and die. Fine. Yeah. The van's steaming up now. That must look dodgy from the outside. There's some people stood around the back of Marks and Spencer. Can't see what they're doing. They're ladies of a certain age, shall we say. Perhaps someone's dealing dodgy Marks black market goods out the back. Two for a tenner deals that fell off the back of a lorry. I don't know. It's either that or it's the strangest drug deal going down ever. I'm not quite sure. Can't decide when to have food today. It's about 11:15 and I'm not even vaguely hungry. Even though I didn't have breakfast, but I stuffed my face yesterday. I ate like a pig. So that might be why. That could well be why. Probably just full from yesterday. Oh, what's going on? So there we are. So that's just, I'd say a little update, but it's nearly 17 minutes long, 16.5 minutes. And I've got a couple of other things I need to edit on. I need to get back to doing more regular videos, don't I? For the 10 people that watch them. But you 10 people, I fucking love you all. Ace, what are you doing? You're obsessed with that bag of spices, aren't you? Oh God, here comes his brother. So you stand there having a wee, and he's watching you over your shoulder. That's a bit weird. I'm talking to the camera, not you. A bit weird, isn't it?
Have I not sent you a picture of him curled up in the thing?
Yeah. He's just sat up, annoying. He was curled right up into a proper little ball. He has a water fountain. He sleeps in the sink. Ace? Say hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Say hello to everyone. Good boy. He's trying to act like not bothered. Yeah, I'm just here in my sink. It's cool.
Ace.
Ace.
Hello.